LA Knight ends Roman Reigns' streak in WWE, the Judgment Day to be punished for Dominic Mysterio's recent actions. Dominic Mysterio opens up on special Rhea Ripley tattoo, Finn Balor behind Damian Priest's failed cash-in attempts, Vince McMahon behind The Rock refusing to wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39, backstage news on who is responsible for Vince McMahon's move out of WWE creative, Cody Rhodes replaces The Rock, WrestleMania 40 bound to disappoint fans. Let's jump right into it. The Judgment Day to be punished for Dominic Mysterio's recent action. The pairing of Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio is a successful one, working well across WWE's 3 brands. Residing on Monday Night Raw, the heel duo have made NXT their second home over the past year. Dirty Dom even won the North American Championship. His latest victory saw heavy interference from the Judgment Day, as is usually the case in recent times. However, there is a way to combat this, as he continues to misuse his privilege of being able to appear on other shows. Dominic Mysterio was on last week's episode of SmackDown without any other Judgment Day member. He could be in trouble for showing up unprompted if WWE reinstates strict brand split rules, which might be the case based on Triple H appointing new general managers. The younger Mysterio might be banned from the blue brand as a result, but that's not all. Cody Rhodes is set to deliver one more announcement as the guest general manager of NXT. The American Nightmare was only given the role for 1 week, but a decision he had made then will be announced this Tuesday. Perhaps this is so he can personally tell Dominic that the rest of the Judgment Day, even Rhea Ripley, is banned from WWE's third brand. While Cody's decision was made before SmackDown, he may simply have pushed for the Judgment Day to be banned from NXT due to their rivalry on Raw. As a result, Dirty Dom would now have to defend his North American title on his own. Rhea Ripley, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and even JD McDonough wouldn't be allowed to help him anymore. It could go one of 2 ways. Either Dominic Mysterio gains some fighting spirit and slowly turns babyface, or he loses the title and returns to Raw under fire and humbled. While Dominic Mysterio's self-inflicted issues on NXT could make for an interesting story, Rhea Ripley has her hands full right now. The Women's World Champion is facing hot competition from 3 of the toughest female stars on Raw. Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler all want Mommy's title. Fans can expect a hard-hitting fatal 4-way match at Crown Jewel, with the champion possibly retaining. Ripley's reign doesn't look like it will end anytime soon, even if the same can't be said for Dirty Dom. Will Rhea Ripley dump Dominic Mysterio after he loses his NXT North American Championship? Leave your predictions in the comments section below. Dominic Mysterio opens up on special Rhea Ripley tattoo. WWE superstar Dominic Mysterio recently opened up about a special Rhea Ripley tattoo on his forearm. Dirty Dom and Mommy have become quite the duo in WWE. Fans love their on-screen romance and don't want them ever to split up. Although fans rarely see him make an appearance without Rhea Ripley, he came out to interrupt Triple H while the latter was talking to Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce on the latest episode of SmackDown. WWE recently uploaded a video with Dominic Mysterio on YouTube, in which they asked him about the meaning of his tattoos. Dirty Dom was asked about his favorite tattoo. He revealed that Rhea Ripley drew a scale that the Judgment Day members ended up getting tattooed on themselves. I literally have a scale tattooed on me right here, just above his right wrist, for Judgment Day. This one's actually more special cause not only is it a scale, but Rhea actually drew it. So she drew it, and the tattoo artist ended up just tattooing that on us. So like this is really special too, just to have that crew is always with me. In the same video, Dominic Mysterio added that he's always hanging alongside his Judgment Day teammates, including Rhea Ripley, and also said that they have a group chat. He also mentioned that they have become a family and was thankful for that. We literally ride together, we're always together, we're at the airports together. We travel together, we have our own Judgment Day group chat, and we've literally become a family. It's kind of insane how it happened, cause never did I imagine that this group of random people would get along so well. It just clicked, and I'm very thankful to have them by my side. All members of the Judgment Day do not hold gold anymore, as Damian Priest and Finn Balor lost their undisputed tag team titles to Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso at Fastlane. They will now get a chance to win the titles back on this week's episode of Raw. Rhea Ripley is still the WWE Women's World Champion, and Dominic Mysterio is the NXT North American Champion. It will be interesting to see if Priest and Balor will once again flaunt gold around their waists after the Monday night show. Do you like the chemistry between Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley in WWE? Let us know in the comments section below. Finn Balor behind Damian Priest's failed cash-in attempts. Damian Priest has been trying to cash in his Money in the Bank contract ever since he won it at the Premium Live event in July. He's focused on dethroning the World Heavyweight Champion and perching himself atop the Raw roster. Unfortunately, it's not been going too well for him. The Punishment recently tried to cash in at Fastlane 2023 after losing the undisputed WWE Tag Team titles. However, Rhea Ripley convinced him not to do it as he was unfit. The Archer of Infamy tried cashing in last week on WWE Raw, but Drew McIntyre stopped Dominic Mysterio from passing the briefcase to Damian Priest. Interestingly, every time he tries to cash in, it's either Rhea Ripley or Dominic Mysterio who was involved in the failed attempts, but not Finn Balor. However, the Prince has the motivation to stop stop Damian Priest, given he wants the title as well. As a result, Balor can be the one who's pulling the trigger, but the gun is always on someone else's shoulder. He knew Priest would want to cash in against Seth Rollins following the loss at Fastlane. He may have urged the Eradicator to convince Priest to let go of the attempt that night. Next, he probably can be the force behind Drew McIntyre stopping Dominic Mysterio from handing over the briefcase. In fact, Mammy may have asked the Scottish Warrior to stop Dom Dom. The duo have been spotted sharing smiles and laughs backstage. Finally, GD McDonough accidentally hitting the Archer of Infamy with the briefcase at Fastlane could have been a planned stunt by Balor and McDonough, so that even if they hadn't lost the titles, Priest couldn't cash in either way. It so happens that tension with the Judgment Day runs because of incidents outside the ring rather than inside. During WWE's The Bump, Damian Priest revealed what caused him to get angry at Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio. He was supposed to get tattoos with the Eradicator and Dirty Dom, but somehow he wasn't actually taken along when Mommy and Dom Dom got their tattoos. The Archer of Infamy was fired up because of it, and it took a while to get over it. So they were in a hot seat for a minute. So these are things that actually cause problems. Anything you see on TV, like, nah, we're good. You guys got a tattoo without me? Oh, I was hot. I got over it. The Judgment Day has become one of WWE's most favorite factions. In fact, the WWE Universe has urged Titan not to break up the faction just yet. Vince McMahon behind The Rock refusing to wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39. Vince Russo believes Vince McMahon's controversies could have prevented The Rock from agreeing to return to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39. In a recent interview, the Brahma Bull revealed that he was supposed to wrestle the Tribal Chief at WrestleMania 39, but things didn't fall in place at the time. Roman Reigns went on to defend his undisputed title against Cody Rhodes at the event, where he retained his gold despite being predicted to lose by many. On the latest episode of Writing with Russo, the former WCW personality speculated that Vince's hush money allegations might have made The Rock's team wary. Vince Russo added that the former WWE champion was giving a lame excuse and hiding the real reason why he chose not to return. That is so bogus. If you go back and look at the timeline, I guarantee you, bro, WrestleMania 39, a Rock return. I guarantee you, bro, that was right around the time of NDAs and everything going on with Vince McMahon. And Rock's people were like, let's do this next year. Come on, bro. What a lame excuse. Rock is basically saying creative couldn't come with anything for me. Get out of here, bro, said Vince Russo. Russo added that the Hollywood megastar's associates and studio executives could have suggested he wait until next year when things cool down. They had it on the table. That's where they were going, and that's when all this stuff started. Rock's people would definitely tell him, studio executives, you need to stay away from that. Let the air clear. Let's see where they are. But no, you can't do that. Vince Russo said. On a recent edition of Sportskeeda's Smack Talk, Dutch Mantell spoke about how WWE went from teasing The Rock challenging Reigns at WrestleMania 40 to Cody possibly facing the latter again. Mantell believes some undisclosed issues with the Brahma Bull could have made the promotion alter its plans. Something happened that we don't know about, and it happened with Rock. That's where it happened. Because Cody was going to be there anyway, I think they wanted, and they painted the whole picture that it's going to be Roman Reigns and The Rock at WrestleMania. And that's what I come away with. As you guys do, right? Everybody thought that's what they painted, and then something happened and it changed it all. But at least they can switch it to a guy that they know can produce and has already been there, so I don't think they are really perturbed about it, Mantell said. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes had a wordless stare down on the entrance ramp on SmackDown, which was enough to get the fans buzzing. Backstage news on who is responsible for Vince McMahon's move out of WWE Creative. There's been a lot of talk about WWE's backstage setup for some time now. It was recently reported that Vince McMahon is no longer part of the creative process. Ari Emanuel is said to be responsible for this move. Vince McMahon was forced to retire in July 2022 amid allegations of sexual misconduct. This was followed by Triple H taking creative control. The game was soon made the chief content officer. However, the former chairman of the Stanford-based company crept his way back onto the WWE board earlier this year. Following the merger with UFC, McMahon is currently the executive chairman of the merged company, TKO Group Holding. As per Dave Meltzer from Wrestling Observer Radio, Ari Emanuel, the CEO of Endeavor, is the man behind Vince McMahon's exclusion from the creative process. Meltzer compared the current situation with what happened in 1984 between McMahon and his father. Well, he McMahon's out of creative. It's a big story because Ari Emanuel, when they were on the verge of closing the deal, and had actually closed the deal in April, did media rounds saying Vince will be in charge of the company, WWE, and if me and Vince have a disagreement, it goes the way Vince wants because Vince is the guy. So then the deal went through and only really went through about a month ago, and already Vince is out of creative because of Ari Emanuel, he said. Meltzer added. So this is a real interesting thing because it's the first time. Vince is now in the position that his father was in '84 when his father had run the company for years and years and years, and then he was just an employee of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Vincent Kennedy McMahon was the guy making all the decisions. Vincent Kennedy McMahon was the guy making all the decisions decisions, and now Vince was in fact overruled, even though when he merged the company he was told that this would not happen. It did happen, and it's a really interesting thing. The Endeavor Group's stock price has recently experienced a huge dip. The recent slump started around the time of the WWE-UFC merger. Dave Meltzer also talked about Ari Emanuel's views on this. He stated that Emanuel believes that Vince McMahon is one of the reasons behind the falling stock prices, and that statement when Ari Emanuel was talking about the reasons the stock is down and he mentioned Vince's name. So it is very interesting, I think, what is going to happen. Vince's power is clearly marginalized. There's no way around that. Do you think Vince McMahon will plot his way back to creative control in WWE one more time? Sound off in the comments section below. Cody Rhodes desperate to finish his father's story. A wrestling legend recently commented on Cody Rhodes' storyline, where he has stated that he wants to finish his story. Ever since Cody Rhodes returned to WWE, he has been adamant about finishing the story, indicating that he wants to win the WWE Championship. Many industry veterans have commented on this, and Kevin Sullivan is the latest to weigh in. During a recent episode of Tuesdays with the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan stated that Cody really wants to finish Dusty Rhodes' story, and he is still focused on Roman Reigns' title despite being one half of the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. Cody is a very smart guy. The reason why I say that was he came out of Dusty's nut. Finishing the story? That's no bullshit, Sullivan explained. He really wants to finish the story for his father. He continued, he loves his father. Sullivan continued, he was raised by his father, sitting at the table. What are we going to do 2 weeks from now? By osmosis, this gentleman has learned quite a bit. Cody's reason for returning to WWE is crystal clear. He wants to be the first person in his family to win WWE's World Championship. His journey and story have appealed to the fans, and he has become one of the company's biggest stars. While many people believe that Cody will one day win the world title, Vince Russo thinks that even if the American Nightmare does achieve his dream, he's not a big enough star to represent the company in the mainstream media. I look at Cody Rhodes the very same way. He would be my Jeff Jarrett. He's a great wrestler, he could get heels over, and gets hurt a little bit more than Jeff did, but somebody you can definitely depend on to carry that title. Is he a hood ornament? Is he going to bring in casual fans? Could he relate to Hollywood? Could he be on the Kimmel Show and the Fallon Show? I don't think he's that guy. I think he's a good little hand. He's a great wrestler and he could carry your belt, but I don't think he has that kind of star power. That's just my opinion, said Vince Russo. It remains to be seen whether Rhodes will finally be able to accomplish his lifelong dream and complete his father's story. Do you think Cody Rhodes will become world champion? Sound off in the comments section. WrestleMania 40 bound to disappoint fans. Wrestling veteran Vince Russo recently stated that if WWE did not book Roman Reigns versus The Rock for WrestleMania 40, it is bound to disappoint fans. Last month, the Brahma Bull made an unexpected appearance on SmackDown, raising fans' hopes that he would also return to the ring soon. Moreover, he also spoke about how a match between him and Roman Reigns was locked for WrestleMania 39, but it was canceled as they couldn't find the right story. However, The Rock did reveal that he was open to facing his cousin at Mania 40 next year. On Sportskeeda's Writing with Russo, the former WWE writer mentioned that even after all the teases, if the company fails to deliver the dream match between The Rock and Roman Reigns, it will surely disappoint fans. They have kinda teased it now, and they have put it in everybody's mind. So I don't know how you don't do it, and it not being a disappointment. You kind of planted that seed now, and it's not going to be that and Reigns and Cody, said Vince Russo. Recently, on the Busted Open Radio podcast, Bully Ray stated that though Cody earned the spot to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, things could change if The Rock's schedule opened up. The WWE legend feels the promotion could make tons of money by booking a dream match between the cousins. Personally, I believe Cody has earned the right to be the headline. Not deserved earned, but that Rock is the bigger headline. This discussion reminds me of the movie 12 Angry Men, where it seemed like the verdict was so obvious in the beginning, but by the time they got to it, and they actually discussed it and talked it out, the jury completely flipped, said Bully Ray. While it's anyone's guess who would face Reigns at the grandest stage of them all, for now, it looks like his new challenger is LA Knight, as evidenced by the events on SmackDown. LA Knight ends Roman Reigns' streak in WWE. WWE superstar Sami Zayn recently left no stone unturned in hyping Roman Reigns' next potential title challenger and the fastest rising name in SmackDown history, LA Knight. Knight confronted Reigns upon the Tribal Chief's return on SmackDown last week at the show's season premiere. The two have had multiple altercations since their first meeting, including intense exchanges at WWE live events. Roman Reigns competed in his first match in 70 days at a WWE Super Show in Kansas City, where he defended his title against Sami Zayn. The Tribal Chief then launched a brutal attack on the former honorary use after the main event, which prompted LA Knight to come to Zayn's rescue. Knight single-handedly saved Zayn from the bloodline and celebrated with the veteran before leaving the ring. However, the top Raw babyface invited the megastar back inside the squared circle and cut a heartwarming promo in his honor. Zayn said he had more in common with Knight than one would think, as it took them 20 years to reach their current status. The five-time champion insisted that he had enjoyed his moment and Knight should make the most of being the man of the hour. Zayn hailed the SmackDown star and said, "You and I have a bit more in common than you think. Not gonna lie, you're slightly more jacked than I am. I will admit that. But we have some stuff in common. See, it took me 20 years to get to the mountaintop, to get to the point where everybody was cheering for me. It took me 20 years to get to the point where people wanted to see me go head-to-head with Roman Reigns. And it took you 20 years, and let me tell you something, buddy, you're here now." Sami Zayn then did the popular "yeah" chants of fans in attendance before bringing the attention back to LA Knight. He said that when Knight eventually takes on Roman Reigns, he will be the one to end the Tribal Chief's streak. "So I say this humbly as a guy who owned a minute there. This moment belongs to you." Yeah proceeds to do LA Knight's signature "yeah" chants with fans. "I have been wanting to do that for a while, but seriously, you are the man. You take on Roman Reigns, and you be the one to end the streak," concluded Zayn. WWE stunned fans when the newly appointed SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis kickstarted his reign by announcing Kevin Owens as the newest member of the Blue Brand. KO was drafted to the Friday night show in exchange for Jey Uso's move to Raw. Aldis later explained in a backstage interview that while Kevin Owens had an incredible run with Sami Zayn, he believed the former Universal Champion was ready to return to singles competition again. However, the Canadian dues split has raised concerns over Sami Zayn's reaction. It will be interesting to see the master strategist without Owens on tonight's WWE Raw season premiere.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me